A very good evening to each and every one of you joining me, Miss Belinda Scandal. And who are you?
I am Caroline Whitehead.
I nearly called you Brandon then. This is very strange.
I've got a couple more things more than Brandon.
I bet you've not, Flower. Now, how are you? Are you all right?
I am. Do you know, it's lovely seeing you.
It's nice to see you too. How are you doing?
Not very bad. Do you remember 12 months ago?
12?
We had a scream between us.
I know. Times have changed.
Because this is our International Women's
Day special. Well done. There you go. Yes. It's feeling very special already, I'll be honest with you. It's feeling very... What have you done this week? Anything or nothing?
Well, I was asked to go skiing.
I beg your pardon?
Yeah, me,
What?
skiing.
Really?
Me, skiing, so... Getting in the onesie, because you wear a onesie, don't you?
The onesie's fun. Do you know what I don't like about skiing? It's the boots.
Why?
Because, I don't mind wearing different forms of shoes, but the boots aren't that nice. They're like lead weights.
Ooh, like Frankenstein shoes.
And you get there first thing in the morning, so you've only just woke up and you're putting these boots on. You've got to clip them and clip them and clip them until they're tighter and tighter and tighter. And then all of a sudden you start adopting a walk like C-3PO. It's quite comical, really. It's all fun. I don't mind it.
Well, I said no.
You said no?
I'll tell you why. Because no one wants to see me hurtling towards them on two planks down a mountain like that with the puppies going,
hey!
Yeah, no one wants to see that.
Oh, it's great fun skiing. I'm there in a couple of weeks.
Oh.
I can't wait. First holiday since 2020. Can you believe it? Because did I tell you the last time that I went skiing?
Yeah.
We travelled because it's a long way. So you land in an airport and then you've got to go about 2 hours up a mountain.
Yeah.
We got there just as Macron told everybody that it was going to be closing down. So we
really?
We literally were there for just a day.
And you had to come back?
We had to come straight back. We drove back. Drove back. I didn't drive. Obviously, I got the helicopter. And yes, we were. I didn't really get a helicopter.
Hello, welcome
and we were just
to
taken
Belinda
back.
Airlines.
Belinda Airlines. Now, listen, we're wearing these sashes for a very good reason, aren't we?
We are.
Why?
Why? Because we've got no. It is because it's International Women's Day. It's Women's History Month, and this is the sash and the type of sash that Emmeline Pankhurst and the suffragettes used to wear.
Yes, not in this material, though, I'm guessing.
Well, I think it was cotton, maybe.
Maybe not this material, because this is very flammable.
Mm-hmm.
Right then, so International Women's Day, it's a big day. It's an important day.
Most definitely.
Those that you don't know why we have got International Women's Day, let's have a little look at this VT.
International Women's Day takes place every year on the 8th of March. This special day is a chance to celebrate the achievements of women, as well as ways that we can all work together to make the world a better, fairer place for everyone. The first International Women's Day was held in 1911, following earlier events in the United States. At this time, many women across the world didn't have the same rights as men, such as being able to vote or work. Although things have changed since those days, there are lots of times where women are still treated badly and not given the same opportunities. This is why International Women's Day is so important, as it gives people a chance to let their voices be heard and to celebrate and challenge. This year, in 2022, the theme of International Women's Day is Break the Bias. What does bias mean? Well, bias is where an idea is preferred to another, and another idea doesn't get a fair chance. Gender bias is where someone of a different gender is treated unfairly. So, this year, people of all genders are being encouraged to #break the bias and make sure that people know when others are not being given the same opportunities. This International Women's Day makes sure you break the bias and celebrate the incredible achievements of women across the world.
There we are. Break the bias. Break the bias.
Yes, break the bias. That's it, yeah.
It's X Factor, but it's important.
No, it's not.
It's not. Break the bias.
Break the bias. There's lots of biases to be broken,
snapped, and redone and everything.
Not yet redone for a fairer world.
That's what it is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm,
and
definitely.
We've got a guest joining us here today. This is Siobhan.
Hello.
Siobhan, how are you? Welcome. Siobhan O'Connor. Now, you work at the library.
I do. I'm at Central Library, just up the road.
Central Library. That's the big round one, everybody, in case you're wondering. It's
the one I went to in the bowels of the archives.
Where you started walking faster.
Yeah, that was great. Siobhan was there. She let me in the bowels of the library.
I mean,
I did,
there must be some stuff in there that talks about equality within the bowels of the library itself. I mean,
We've got all sorts of stuff at Central Library. In the strong rooms that Carol Ann was just talking about, we've got lots of women's archives there. So we've got letters from suffragettes. We've got, massive collection. It's really, really interesting. And what's exciting is when you actually touch it in your hand and you think that somebody, that has made change in our lifetime has actually written that or touched it, etc.
Books weren't as mass printed as what they are now. I mean, we get millions of books printed. That would have been done and etched by somebody that would have took time.
But even when you think, people were typing out, like there's no computers back then, and
some were from prison as well, weren't they? They're from strange ways. Sort of writing out because they were in prison for demonstrating, for wanting the vote. Yeah, quite a lot were in prison.
They went to prison for what? For getting their own equality.
That's what they wanted, for equality. They were put in prison. Listen, some were imprisoned. They were force fed, and one or two died. This is how intense, and this is how much women fought to actually go for and get the vote.
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So have we noticed a difference then? I'll open this up to both of you. Have we noticed a big difference within Manchester then for women and equality and breaking the bias, as we're calling it?
Well, so it's about 103 years since women over 30 received the vote. Wow. 103 years. We are, what are we now? 6 years off all women, 100 years of all women getting the vote. There has been changes. So dare I say it, 76 years after Emmeline Pankhurst started the WASPLU, which is the Women's Socialist Political Union. Yeah. We had first female prime minister in 1979. That was 76 years afterwards.
I'm still not keen on her.
Yeah, we're still not keen on her, but at least she was a woman. She was a woman. Yeah. And of course, the Equalities Act as well.
Yes.
Okay. And I always say sometimes certain things in legislation has to really filter through into society because we're still demonstrating and complaining today about the lack of equal pay.
Yes. Well, I know you get more than me. I don't understand it. What does it mean to you, International Women's Day, Siobhan?
I think it's an opportunity. When you think about globally, lots of women don't have the same rights. So I think it's really important to show other women across the globe that, we're thinking about them. We might think, well, we're okay, but we're not. Things still aren't equal, but things are much worse in other countries. Yeah. So I think it's really important to stand up and show that solidarity together.
It's fabulous, isn't it? Listen, we're going to be chatting to you throughout the show today. But we want to find out, as well as celebrating International Women's Day, what is on the box, everybody.
Hi, I'm Hayley and welcome to this week's On The Box. How's everyone doing? Now, if you watch anything at all, do pop on to Amazon Prime and seek out the comedy series The Amazing Mrs. Maisel. It's absolutely outstanding. It's about a housewife called Midge and it's set in the 50s and 60s and she discovers a knack for comedy, stand-up comedy, and she pursues a career in it as well. It's one of the best things I've seen in years. Now, if you want a weepy film, a little weepy one, do give Hatchie A Dog's Tale a watch. It stars Richard Gere and it's about a man called Parker who rescues a stray puppy from the train station. If you fancy a classic, Breakfast at Tiffany's is available on Now TV, and I've just started watching the series Inventing Anna. It's on Netflix and it's number 2 at the moment on the streaming platform. It's about a journalist who's got a lot to prove and she investigates the case of an Instagram socialite and heiress who stole the hearts of New York and also their money. Now that's it from me. I shall catch you next time, and remember, stronger together. Bye.
So that's what's on the box this week. Loads going on. Yeah. Marvellous Mrs. Maisel's very International Women's Day appropriate. Have you seen it?
No, I've not.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's this wonderful character. And she basically wants to be a stand-up comic comedian, as they want to be called. So she does that, and she's basically going through her life, and she's looking after the kids as well. Yeah. She's breaking that bias because it's all at that time where it's set all about men being comedians. Oh, so she's breaking that bias. So that's one definitely to watch. Marvellous Mrs. Maisel. Cracking one. Surprised you've not watched it, love.
No, I'm a big fan of Smack the Pony.
I don't want to know what you do in your private life. Now, listen, you did a few of these marches that are going to be on.
No, we don't call them marches. They happen in March, but we call them walks.
It's a march because it's standing up for what you want to be. So call it a march. Say what it is. Say what it is.
No, we're not allowed to call it.
Why can't you call it a march?
Because the council likes us to call it a walk.
But if the council weren't involved, would it be a
celebration.
march?
It's a celebration of what we've achieved so far. That's what we'd like to say. It's a celebration of what we've achieved so far, a flavour of what we have done before. Siobhan and I work closely, and the Manchester City Council stop laughing at me. Steering group, the strong Manchester women, see us in action, see all of the communities in Manchester in action.
Yeah.
It's very diverse, men, women, children, people of different ethnicities. Let's go.
Yeah. And we got you have me like this, you have me hooked on every word. Let's see. I forget where I am. I'm like that. Yeah.
It's me wearing them. It's wearing my musk.
It is. I like your bandana, by the way.
Thank you.
It's very nice.
Thank you. It's my mama's and papa's.
You could have had a paracetamol. That would have sorted the headache out better. You know?
Oh,
it would. Anyway.
Don't give up the day job.
This is the day job. All right. Let's have a look at this meeting from a few years ago, everybody.
Next up on the show, we've got someone that everyone's probably heard the show about. I'm sure you've obviously heard about quiz nights before. You've heard of Belinda doing her one at the Cockatoo. Well, this person has wrote a play all about the last quiz night on Earth. Please welcome Allison Carr. You have quite a reputation with your plays already. They've been travelling up and down the country. Well, this show in particular has been. You have been a finalist in the Women's Prizes for writing. You've done quite a bit, especially for women, which is fantastic. I've gone into the synopsis of Last Quiz Night on Earth, but it sounds so crazy that I'm going to have you tell our audience what is the show about.
Yeah, it's not crazy. It's so basically there is a world-destroying asteroid that is heading for Earth. There is nothing that can be done. We are all going to be wiped out. So, you know, what would you do? You'd go down the local pub, the Four Horsemen, for a quiz night. Kathy, the landlady, and Rav, the quizmaster, have arranged a very special final countdown, last chance quiz night for the audience. So you go along, you have a drink, you do the quiz. It's a real quiz.
I love that. That's such a different element. Sorry, just before we get on to the rest of it, you genuinely have a quiz in this. This is stuff you can do throughout the show.
Yeah, it's a real quiz, real questions, real rounds. So you can come as a quiz team, or you can come as a smaller group, or you can join your table and become a bigger quiz team, or you can, you know, join the people around you, whatever you want to do. But yeah, it's a real quiz. We'll ask you to think up a quiz team name, play along, you know, really mark the answers. You'll get the questions, you'll get the answers. There's different rounds. So there's sport and film and TV, different real quiz rounds. So you'll play, and there might be a winner. Who knows? Who knows what happens? It's the end of the world.
You know, you might win, but at the end of the day, we're getting blown up by an asteroid. Does it really matter?
Exactly.
That's fantastic, though. That's such a different concept. What made you want to come up with that?
Well, it was so Boxer Tricks, who are producing the show, it was them that approached me and asked me if I'd be interested in writing their new immersive show that they wanted to take around. So it's a show for non-theatre spaces. So it's playing in pubs, village halls, community centres. And And I first of all came up with the idea of a pub quiz because I thought, well, that's everyone loves a quiz.
Absolutely.
It's something that, lots of people
It's
can
something
join
we all
in.
took to in lockdown anyway.
Exactly. And this was written pre-lockdown. So little did I know
you got ahead of the game.
Of the quiz. And then the end of the world element, it just, I just thought, what can I bring? What is something that I'd be interested in? What makes this different? What really makes the stakes as high as possible? So, what if it was the last quiz night on Earth? And, we meet other characters in the play who come to the pub who are people in Kathy and Rav's lives who come to the pub for sort of last minute, last chance, whether it be, grand declarations or things that need to be unsaid, or rifts, or things that need to be said, or rifts that need to be healed. Because obviously, again, it's the last chance.
Absolutely. Now, you're playing at the Banktop Tavern in Oldham. How exactly can people get tickets to this then?
So if they head to the Box of Tricks website, so I think I'm gonna give you a website address. I think it's right. So boxoftricks.co.uk, and all the links to book there. It's playing where you said in Oldham, and it's going all over the country. So if you can't make that date, you might be able to make somewhere else.
Here's your roundup of what's on across Greater Manchester. Roger and Harry's bond is so strong they could be brothers. They share the same food, music, laughs, even dreams, but not race. Roger is black and Harry is white, but what does that matter, right? Human Nurture is a new play featuring live music, moves and plenty of dynamite. At the Lowry on Thursday the 3rd and Friday the 4th of March. This International Women's Day, head over to the Frog and Bucket to get your feminist funny on with a fantastic all-female lineup. Proceeds from the event will help support local charities, the Pankhurst Trust and Manchester Women's Aid. Inspired by the Free Britney movement, Saving Britney is a hilarious and heartbreaking look at celebrity obsession, sexuality and growing up in the early noughties. It's on at Hope Mill from the 8th to the 10th of March. Also from the 8th, Olivier and Tony Award-winning play The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime comes to the Opera House. That's it from me this week. Remember, if you have an event you'd like us to mention, just drop us a line. Contact us at yourmcr.com.
So yeah, loads going on, isn't there?
Yeah,
we're having a right good giggle here.
I like that human nurture.
We were just talking because we were talking about the suffragettes, weren't we? And we were talking about the fact that I was like, when because you learn stuff in history at school, don't you?
You do.
Obviously, not it's all true. And we were talking about how the fact that this woman threw herself through the horse of the king, and she didn't.
No, she did not.
What did she do?
What would that serve if she threw herself in front of the horse? No, what she had one of these sashes. And the point was to pin the sash on the horse. She didn't sort of gauge or understand how fast the horses were going. So she went to pin the sash because the king's horse was a favourite in the race. And of course, having that horse go past the finish line first with a suffragette sash on, okay, a picture paints 1,000 words. It would look like the king's horse and the king was endorsing the suffragette movement. That was the end game. That was what they wanted.
It's amazing, isn't it? Now, listen, we're wearing these sashes today. They've got 3 different colours on.
Yeah.
What do they mean? Anything?
So that was pure. No, the middle one, the white one's purity.
White is purity.
Purple is courage. What's the green one? I can never remember. I think the green one is hope. Hope, purity, and courage.
Hope, purity and courage. I like it. Now, your walk that you're doing this year.
Yes.
What does it entail? I've never been to one. I've never done one. What does it actually entail? What happens?
Right. So what happens? And the VT that we saw just before, that was all on one day. That was the walk and also the festival in Manchester Central Library. Yep. Because even though there are not really many restrictions at the moment, we split it across 2 weekends. So on Sunday, the 6th of March, the walk will have community groups, voluntary organisations, anything from Irish groups or groups that are supporting women against domestic violence and survivors against domestic violence, or just community groups like Women Asylum Seekers Together, all these different cultural groups as well. And they have their banners, their colours and clothes. If you're not there, please come with drums and whistles and all sorts, because we want noise. We want it to be a festival and a celebration. You saw in the film how everyone had everything, all the instruments. A couple of years ago, we had some Bhangra dancers as well. I mean, they did half a mile doing Bhangra dancing, which was awesome. And we walked basically from Mossy, from the Museum of Science and Industry. We walked from there after the mayor has said, well done, off you go. And we walked from there straight down Deansgate to the Cathedral Gardens, where the leader of the council, the first female leader of Manchester City Council, Bev Craig, will be there to meet us. And she'll give a little talk. And that's the walk. And that's about an hour. That'll take about an hour.
Wow.
We also want lots of things.
Yeah, we do.
And we're going to actually put them at the front of the walk.
Right.
Because it's our year for young people and children.
Right.
So we're focusing on opportunities.
So why do you think it's so important for young people to join in with this then?
Because we're focusing on young people this year as a city council, because we need to give them opportunities, open up doorways for them. With everything that's gone on with COVID and everything, I think it's really important that we concentrate on our young people.
Yeah. I mean, statistics have shown that a lot of young people, so let's say between the 12 and 25 grouping, they're the ones that seem to have suffered the most, because they're going through different versions of their life, and the lack of interaction and contacting and connecting with each other has been, well, it's been shortened, hasn't it, because of the lockdowns and all the different things.
Got you.
So this is the focus on encouraging and motivating young people.
Okay. And what's the end goal then? Because I know as somebody like me, we do these gay pride parades.
Yeah.
And we do it kind of for the same reasons that you guys are doing. It's about, breaking bias and all stuff like this that goes with it. What's the end goal for you, lovely
How long have you
ladies?
been on air? What have you learnt today?
I've learned an awful lot.
Exactly. That's the end goal.
Education.
Every time.
Awareness,
It's
isn't it?
awareness,
Yeah.
awareness. Every little tiny nugget, every little bit, it's awareness. It's because I like cake.
Yeah.
It's like a layer cake of awareness and basically giving them information. I did a seminar today with all male in the seminar, and I did it about International Women's Day, and they just did not know that women couldn't get divorced or women could not own property. That the vote thing was like, who wants to vote? They're all rubbish. That's their thinking on it. But then when I talked about not being able to be divorced or job or have their own house, buy their own car, all these different things, they just did not realise any of that.
Are the younger people engaging enough there where they want to learn about it? Because I know, going back to my kind of life, that the history kind of is history, and now are they engaged enough to learn the history from it?
They're really passionate about rights, what matters to them, what their future holds. So I think they are. Really passionate.
Yeah.
We've got the Manchester Youth Council that will be joining the walk, and they're leading on, making choices for young people in Manchester. So there is that passion there.
There is, most definitely.
Definitely.
And can I say,
Yes.
it's about the delivery.
It's about yes, well, there you go. Although, going back to my type of thing, you don't get better delivering than the way we deliver it.
I tell you.
Put somebody in a Speedo, they're going to pay attention, aren't they? That's what I always say. And if you are feeling a little bit down this week, then fear not, because as always, we've got our lovely, where are you going? Our lovely mojo, minute of mojo. Let's do that again. And we have now got our lovely minute of mojo with our lovely Jo Britton. I thank you.
It's Jo Britton, neurosculpting performance coach, for another Minute of Mojo. I've been speaking to quite a few people over the last few days who are feeling incredibly stressed, overwhelmed, anxious, panicky, alarmed, and even helpless as a result of the atrocities that are taking place in Ukraine at the moment. And this is a totally expected reaction, particularly if you have links to Ukraine. Like I do. Part of my heritage is Ukrainian. And also, if you still have stress lurking as a result of the last 2 years of the pandemic, this can amplify this sense of anxiety and these feelings of stress and overwhelmed. So here are a few things that you can do that might help you. The first thing is that you can limit your exposure to social media and the news. If you want to keep yourself up to date, choose reputable news sources. Perhaps avoid social media posts with very harrowing and distressing imagery attached to them. The second thing is our brains, and as human beings, we like to have this sense of control over our lives. So when there's a threat like this taking place, this can make us feel very stressed and worried. But when we worry about things that we can't control, it can also cause us to catastrophize. So take some action on something that you can accomplish and control, and it will help you feel a little bit better. And the third thing that you can do is to have some healthy escapism. So maybe take a walk in nature or do something creative or fun that will take your mind off the realities of day-to-day life. I'll be back next time for another Minute of Mojo. In the meantime, you can connect with me on my Instagram page, joebritton.mojo.
And of course, as you look into our corner over there, everybody, you will notice we've changed our little logo whilst all these strange atrocities. I don't really want to talk about it because I just find it.
Yeah, people call it an atrocity. Let's call it what it is. It's a war.
It's a war. It's a sad state of affairs, really.
It's not nice at all. And one of our students is Ukrainian, and he did a performance last night at the Lion's Den, and his fellow bandmates held a flag behind it. He'd written a special song. Hopefully, I'm trying to get hold of that song so that we can hear it.
Brilliant. We've got one of your fellow music students in next week, haven't we?
We have. We've got. Oh, he's a lovely lad.
Is he a lovely lad?
He's a lovely lad. Yes, he's called Charlie Whittam, and we'll get him in next week.
He's going to do us a little number at the end of next week's show. In the meantime,
another lovely lad. I am like his sister from another mister. Yes, it's our Paul with the weather.
Hello my lovely weather watchers, and welcome to this week's weather forecast with me, Paul Rudd, and I'm here at the beautiful Willowwood Hospice Gardens.
The hospice has been open now for over 20 years, and it was founded by local people who raised the money to build a hospice. We serve Tameside and Glossop, and we do inpatients and day patients. We also go out into the community, and the services are provided free for anyone with life-limiting illnesses.
It's stunning, and it's such a sunny day, and it's going to be lovely for Manchester this week, apart from Thursday and Friday. So let's take a look at this week's weather in more detail. Here it comes. Alright, Thursday is looking cloudy with rain with the temperatures of 9 degrees Celsius. Friday is looking sunny, cloudy with bursts of rain with the temperatures of 9 degrees Celsius. And as we head into the weekend right now, Saturday is looking sunny and cloudy with the temperatures of 9 degrees Celsius, and Sunday is looking sunny and cloudy with the temperatures of 9 degrees Celsius. So the sun will be shining, but it'll still be a chilly front, so keep warm and safe if you can. And now from me, Paul Rudd, here in Willowwood Hospice Gardens, it's time to go back to the studio for this week's amazing episode of Your Manchester.
Did you see him fall over last week?
Oh, bless him. I'm glad he wasn't wearing, because I love that velvet jacket. I'm glad he wasn't wearing that velvet jacket then.
He fell over, he slipped a right good, and he did. Oh, I'll tell you what, there's so much stuff going on around Manchester. The library does a lot as well, doesn't it? Now, I think you got something going on the 12th of March.
We have. On Saturday the 12th of March, we've got performances, musical performances, spoken word. So everybody's coming together for International Women's Day Festival event. Right. So the week before is the walk, and then on the 12th we've got like a performance, a celebration, if you like, for the International Women's Day Festival. So we're going to have some of the groups that have received funding for International Women's Day. Yeah. They'll be having like stalls to show people what their group's about, encourage people to join in with their groups. And it's just a showcase, really, isn't it, Caroline?
Yeah, so it's a showcase. So that's what Siobhan and I work together on,
right?
As part of the steering committee. And we take over the whole of the performance space. So if you go into the library on Saturday the 12th, there will be music and noise. and our Access students will be there performing. Some will be doing the media, and also some will be, as well as doing the media, will be event planning as well. And there'll be a host not too far from you hosting.
Oh, you?
Apparently
you? Right, I see. I mean, there is always something going on in the library, though, isn't it? I like the library. I like going into the big room that's quiet.
Oh, the reading room.
The reading room. I like going in there and opening a bag of crisps. I like doing that. I find that a lot of fun. You're not meant to do that. The other one to do is where you've got the little electric pianos.
Yeah,
turn
in the music
full
library.
whack. And play Phantom. I like doing that in there as well. I find that a lot of fun. I like it.
Yeah. Nobody looked at him going, shh.
Yeah.
No.
A friend of mine got knocked down by a mobile library. Honestly. Yeah. Everyone's going, oh my God. And the woman out the mobile library went, shh. Right. So, anyway, we've got a show lined up for you next week.
You don't do jokes. Do you?
No.
Yeah.
These are yours, Caroline.
Oh,
okay. Now then. Peace. Okay, next week, everybody, we've got a fantastic show lined up for you. Really, really have. We've got so many guests lined up. We have. We've got Allison, Allison Fitzjohns joining us. She used to be in the band, the musical that went with Take That. She's here. We've got your mate Charlie.
Yeah, young Charlie.
Young Charlie's joining us as well. You're also bobbing off, I do believe, to a chocolate place, aren't you?
Oh, well, it's for the week after, really.
It is,
I am bobbing off to a chocolate place.
Yes, we say no more about that.
And I made a beer.
And you've made a beer?
Beer.
You've made a beer?
I've made a beer, brewed it from scratch and everything. Yeah.
And we'll find out about that next week?
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Wellies on, sleeves rolled up, sniffing hops. I'm not saying
I've got no words. I've got no words whatsoever.
See?
Yes, well, I bet they're not when you're drinking. In the meantime, when we got the sausage lady on.
Hopefully the sausage lady will be ready for next week.
There we go.
Again,
it's all.
You're
back in the studio with us, but we're putting Brandon in your chair next week. You're going to sit there and tell us about the world, aren't you?
I'll be asleep on the sofa, everybody. I'll be like zedding it on the sofa, and then when they're ready, they'll just poke me.
And on that note, everybody talking about Caroline being poked, thanks to each and every one of you for watching this week's episode of Your Manchester.